Aussies are obsessed with made in Australian products. The search volume is going through the roof. But what do you need to do to be able to put made in Australia on your product? What's the minimum that you can do that allows you to have that coveted label on your product? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you. Now, if you like this kind of information, where I'm helping you build your e-commerce business right here in Australia, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Too many coffees this morning. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Also consider subscribing to our YouTube channel because I post brand new money making information just like this each and every day. And if you've got any questions for me, comment below and I'll answer them personally for you. With that being said, let's get some Made in Australia underway. Here is a Prada leather handbag, 1,850 euros, approximately 2,400 good old Australian dollars. Okay, Prada, Italian company. So let me ask you a question. Here's what happens. So Prada is a Milan-based company, and what happens is the leather for a Prada handbag is prepared in China. So they go through the process of getting the leather ready to use. It's all cut, all the sizes are cut out in China. Everything's done at that pre-production phase, pre-assembly phase in China. Okay, so that's where everything gets done. And then all that leather is shipped over to Italy. Now, in Italy, there are factories in Italy that are actually Chinese owned or Chinese and Italian owned, with Chinese workers in them. And those Chinese workers in these Chinese owned factories in Italy then take the leather that's been prepared in China and sew it all together, ready for it to be pushed out the door as a Prada handbag. Has that product been made in Italy? What do you reckon? So what we have here is a combination, as you'll see, of people who are looking at this purely as a pragmatic within the boundaries of the law interpretation, and others looking at it as a morally repugnant way of marketing said products. Okay, and both is right. Both is right, but legally, they are made in Italy. Okay, interesting, don't you think? There are way more products than you would imagine that go through that exact process I've just outlined for you. I mean, I picked on Prada, but there are way more than you could possibly imagine that go through exactly that same process. Okay, so interesting thought. How do we put made in China on our products? Well, turns out it's actually a very, very good thing to be able to do, to be able to put made in Australia, not made in China, made in Australia on your products, because people are actively searching for made in Australia products. In fact, because of what's happening geopolitically, this whole kind of China's the bad guys, we want to move our manufacturing onshore. Instead of globalization, we're having nationalization, We're getting things like made in USA. You'll see this more and more and more. And you know, there's some crazy Americans. You see all those American flags. They're super nationalistic, some of them. You know, they've got all this national USA #1 kind of shit going on, okay? But turns out that's also a big thing in Australia too. Okay, so there's massive advantages for your business to be able to say made in Australia, made in X, wherever X may be. But how do you do that? Well, I'm going to give you this. You probably don't want to read this. It's massively long and massively boring, but I will say that the useful information is right here, okay? So essentially, what you have to do, and this is all governed by the ACCC, what you have to do is you have to substantially change the product that you're importing into the country into something else to be able to then say the product is made in Australia. So if leather is imported into the country all cut, and then it's in Australia, it's turned into flat piece of leather, then turned into bags, that has been substantially changed enough to be able to say made in China. If I import, if I want to put together a protein powder and I import into Australia 10 ingredients, all from China, that constitute my protein powder. I import them all from China, okay? And then bring them into China and then, bring them into Australia. In Australia, they're all mixed together and then they're all put into these containers and it's a new product has been created out of that. Then I have done sufficient to be able to say made in Australia. Okay, so the law is very, very interesting around how you can do what we're looking to do. And you may consider as well that how little is made in Australia, truly made in Australia. Very, very little stuff. Regardless of what you think about that, there's a reason that that happened, a political and a geopolitical reason that that all happened. And yet there's an abundance of made in Australia products. So yes, you can. It isn't that hard to do. The law is pretty sketchy, in my opinion. And certainly it's very, very loosely written so it can be open to interpretation. Okay. That was a video from my regular Monday night Q&A with the members of the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs. We've got 2,500 members and growing. We're actually the fastest growing community of professional e-commerce sellers right here in Australia, with sales, by the way, of $50 million. Now, if you'd like to find out more about what we do and come along and join us, get yourself off to www.aussieonlineentrepreneurs.com.au and I will see you on the inside. Bye for now.